I bring you greetings from Legem Incorporated, where our president is the esteemed Constance Davis. I am Anita Hicks, and I serve as vice president of this great organization of some 18 chapters up and down the Eastern Seaboard and in the great states of Tennessee and Nevada. I know that during the month of October, groups and individuals generally provide service to and support for Alzheimer's, as well as domestic violence. But there's the rub. What we don't associate with domestic violence is bullying. What is it exactly? How do you recognize it? Bullying is not limited to youth, but to adults as well. As Legem's Domestic Violence Initiative will focus more on how we can handle the adult bullying crisis, this group, this initiative, Youth and Mentoring, will attempt to tackle the problem from our youth's perspective. This team, led by Donna Dean from our Baltimore chapter, will hopefully serve as a reminder to renounce this beast that we've been dealing with for so very long. So let's focus tonight on how we can rip the heart right out of youth bullying. Let's get started. Dr. Crystal E. Banks has been a champion for change in the higher education field since August 2007. She is currently the executive director for the Black College Fund and Ethnic Concerns, the United Methodist Church's General Board of Higher Education and Ministry. In this role, Dr. Banks partners with the Assistant General Secretary to advance the promotion, interpretation, and fundraising efforts for the 11 United Methodist-related historically Black schools and colleges and universities. She is responsible for ensuring that those over 16,000 minority students are able to pursue higher education. Dr. Banks is active and proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, Women of Higher Education, and the Order of the Eastern Star. She is currently the Regional Imperial Directress for the DIME Youth Mentoring Program. I present this wife, mother, daughter, sister, and friend, Dr. Crystal E. Banks.
My name is Crystal Banks, and I'm excited to share with you some information about bullying. So let's start with the obvious question at hand. What is bullying? We know that there is a definition clearly in the encyclopedia or the dictionary that says that bullying is unwanted, aggressive behavior among school-age children that involves a real or perceived power of imbalance. The behavior is repeated or has the potential to be repeated over time. But what we need to realize is that both kids who are bullied and who bully others may have serious, lasting problems. Some things that I want to make sure that you understand is there are several different types of bullying. There's physical bullying, there's verbal bullying, there's relational bullying, and then, yes, in the world today, cyberbullying. So just a little bit about each of those areas. Physical bullying is the kind of bullying that includes a range of aggressive behaviors in one person towards another. Verbal bullying. Some people say that words will never hurt you, but they do. Then you have relational bullying. In relational bullying, kids use friendship as a threat, where they can threat to take away their friendship from one another. This type of bullying most often refers to drama. And then we have cyberbullying. This is a specific form of bullying that involves technology. We know that kids are now on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and we hear a lot about cyberbullying. And so this is one that definitely is at the top of the list. The next question you ask yourself is, are bullies created or are they born? Well, I say that they are created because they see behavior and then they mock it. A child's schoolyard is where a lot of things happen, where victims find themselves in a bad situation. But what you need to understand is that in many cases, bullies are not made by being born into this world. They have experienced something at a young age, and then they use that against others. Children become bullies for several reasons. They could be angry, they've suffered physical abuse, or emotional trauma. Those things cause them to act aggressively. They are victims in a sense, but then they turn it around and they attack others. A lot of times, a child who is bullying, again, has had something happen in their life. They're not just being mean. Bullying is a long-standing worry for parents in all age ranges. Statistics have shown that 45% of the country's youth have been bullied. The ages 10 to 17. But time has continued to show us that those statistics are already null and void because we see it happening more today, especially in the area of cyberbullying at a young age. And then they use that against others. Children become bullies for several reasons. They could be angry, they've suffered physical abuse, or emotional trauma. Those things cause them to act aggressively. They are victims in a sense, but then they turn it around and they attack others. A lot of times, a child who is bullying, again, has had something happen in their life. They're not just being mean. Bullying is a long-standing worry for parents in all age ranges. Statistics have shown that 45% of the country's youth have been bullied. The ages 10 to 17. But time has continued to show us that those statistics are already null and void because we see it happening more today, especially in the area of cyberbullying. So now you need to think about, what does bullying look like in the toddler range, the elementary range, middle school range, or even in high school? Well, we do see that statistics have shown that it's as early as preschool. You can see kindergartners display aggressive behavior towards their classmates. And this trait is something that they've learned from home. It's usually later in the development stage that kids realize that they're different. So when they realize that they're different, they start to act different. Boys tend to be physically aggressive, where girls tend to use verbal or emotional bullying against someone else. One thing you want to also keep in mind is that children and preteens, they do show signs of bullying. From a parent's point of view, you need to make sure your child is talking with you and sharing with you things that they might be going through. Because what we need to realize is that bullying is not just physical. It's definitely verbal, relational, and again, online. Also, in relational bullying, kids will continue to use friendship as a threat to take their friendship away and hurt another person. And again, in the world of Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, cyberbullying is very destructive because of how quickly it can spread across the world. Examples of physical bullying is hitting, kicking, tripping, spitting, or shoving someone. Verbal bullying could be teasing, threatening, name calling, yelling at one another, or harassing. Relational bullying could be starting rumors, excluding others, giving them the silent treatment, gossiping about them, or saying a statement and then at the end say, "I was just joking." And then again, with cyberbullying, we know that you can mock someone online, post embarrassing photos, harass someone on social media, make fun of them in group chats. And some have even taken it as far as setting up fake social media accounts to attack others. There are so many resources out there today that can assist parents in helping their students thrive in school and be open and feel like they're in a safe space to be able to talk about being bullied. And there are signs for parents to be able to see if their child is the one doing the bullying and what they can do to help their student out. The key is communication. The key is to be a parent that is supportive. And we have to remember what we see, we do. So if you are doing things in your household or in your community, and you're doing it in front of these students, they can pick up those bad habits and then add it to the things that they've gone through. And then they turn into being a bully. Clearly, we want to help every student, no matter a toddler, all the way up to high school, be successful. And so what we have to remember is sharing love with one another, being kind to one another, and confronting the pink elephant in the room about this topic and talking about it brings awareness and helps not only students learn about bullying, but also educates parents, friends, and those in the community. So again, bullying is very much alive in the world today, whether it's in the schoolhouse, whether it's online, or even just in the community day to day. We need to be aware of it, pay attention to it, and make sure that we act and help those that need the help so that they won't continue to be victims and grow up to be adults and still have that type of behavior that could possibly lead to things such as domestic violence, where they are the ones that are the aggressor, or a victim of domestic violence because they were attacked when they were younger and didn't know how to talk about it.
This facilitator, Monica Vaughn, holds a master's degree in communication and is founder and CEO of Scholars Academy Incorporated. She believes that every child's learning environment should promote academic excellence, and as a result, she has now forged her 22 years of educational and leadership experience into an evidence-based program. The Triumphant Scholars Academy Incorporated's program recognizes the hurdles many children face to win their race over various academic challenges and presents them with an opportunity to yield double-digit gains. With Mrs. Vaughn's leadership, students are achieving personalized learning structures with a focus on digital and blended learning. Mrs. Vaughn earned her BAA in sociology from Elizabeth City State University, as well as her Master of Arts in Education Administration and Master's in Special Education from the University of Phoenix. Currently, Mrs. Vaughn is a passionate youth advocate who is a special ed teacher and transition specialist. Her background in human services field extends to formerly working with the North Carolina Department of Justice, as well as having extensive experience in day treatment programs and community mental health. Mrs. Vaughn has been married for 22 years to Eric Vaughn, and together they have 3 beautiful children. I present to you Mrs. Monica Vaughn.
Hello. Bullying is someone picking on someone else for their size, for their difference of opinion, or maybe someone who doesn't speak up for themselves. Here in the middle school, when we think of bullying, we think the bullies are people who are created from other people that deal with their insecurities. Bullies have a tendency to terrorize people at the expense of someone else's pain. When we look at bullying in the middle school, we look at bullying as an unpopular opinion, a popular kid who always picks on an unpopular student. Also, sometimes students could be real cruel to students with special needs. Also, bullying, it covers a lot of different things. However, it has a tendency to extend beyond boundaries. When we think of bullying, we think of students who bully others or pick on others, or do some type of things that are discomforting to others, without knowing what these other students are facing, what they may face at school, what they may face at the home, what they may face in the community. All we know is they come to school and have an advantage over someone else. A lot of times, bullies are placed in a place to discuss the pain that they're feeling. And a lot of times they're feeling pain of themselves and they wish to pursue that pain on someone else. I witnessed it firsthand and addressed it firsthand, and I see it every day. Bullying is a major concern for me. It's almost, I picture it as terrorist groups because they are picking on someone that they feel cannot fight back. In today's society, as adults, we see it as war, but bullying is something that is widespread throughout the middle school, and it's something that definitely needs to be addressed.
Since the fall of 2022, Legim Incorporated has been excitedly engaging in a national program entitled the Dream Initiative. The goal is to fulfill dreams that revive and empower our communities. There are 6 initiatives upon which we have been focusing, one of which is youth mentoring and tutoring. The coordinator, Donna S. Dean, hails from the Baltimore, Maryland chapter of our organization and is currently the chapter's assistant secretary. She holds degrees from Coppin State and Grand Canyon and is certified in ultrasound technology. A Baltimore City school retiree, Donna loves to dance, bake, crochet, knit, travel, read, and diamond paint. She is a leader in her church, has 1 son and a grandson, and loves them all, as well as her church family. I present coordinator Donna S. Dean.
My name is Donna Dean. I am the National Youth Chair for Mentoring and Tutoring. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you about the adult's role in bullying. Given all that we know about bullying and why it exists, why is it still going on? Students insist that parents, their first role model, mainly their parents, ignore what is going on. The parents tell them to stop tattling. They are told to solve the problem themselves. Tell them, the children that is, if they acted differently, this would not be happening to them. They don't understand, the parents don't understand technology. They don't want to understand. They don't want to ask questions. They don't want to know what's going on. Children with disabilities tend to hide what's happening or make light of the problem. Teachers, like we don't have enough to do, don't recognize the severity of the situation or the perpetrator. Teachers don't understand the frequency of the problem, and they don't understand the frequency of bullying. Bullying may be a part of a major behavior management issue. That's what teachers say. To be handled by authorities, guidance, parents, teachers, or parent-teacher conference. They're too busy worried about state-mandated achievement tests, suggest attending special ed classes for the children, don't want to complete school. Some of the children don't want to be bothered. Drugs or alcohol just may be the problem. Teachers were naive to the thought that normal bullying would be relegated to the playgrounds, hallways, or student versus student. Bullying appears different from school to school, state to state, city to city, neighborhood versus neighborhood. It varies depending on sex, age, ethnicity, and disability, perceived or real. Parents and teachers and other adults tend to underestimate the effect of bullying may have on a child. There is a normal amount of teasing that may happen. However, there's a point when the teasing stops being helpful or playful, and bullying begins to humiliate or emotionally abuse, and the victim requires help from the teaser. The adults in this situation need to pay attention. Bullying is not normal. It is not a part of growing up. Adults must intervene, and all children should not have to endure any negative comments. Yes, it is hard to tell the difference if you're not a trained professional. Sometimes adults get it wrong, but at least they try. You can always consult an expert, a psychologist, social worker, principal, or friend. The child will let you know. Now we're going to talk about how to prevent or stop bullying. Help the children understand. That's for parents, school staff, and other caring adults that play a role in bullying. Talk about what it is and how to stand up to it safely. Tell the children bullying is unacceptable. Make sure children know how to get help. Children who know what bullying is can better identify it. They can talk about bullying if it happens to them or others. Children need to know ways to safely stand up to bullying and how to get help. Encourage children to speak to a trusted adult if they are bullied or see others being bullied. The adult can give comfort, support, and advice, even if they can't solve the problem directly. Encourage the child to report bullying if it's happening. Talk about how to stand up to children who bully. Give tips like using humor and stop them directly and confidently. Talk about what to do if those actions don't work, like walk away. Talk about strategies for staying safe, such as staying near adults or a group of other children. Urge them to help children who are being bullied by showing kindness or getting help. Also, keep the lines of communication open. Research tells us that the children really do look to parents and caregivers for advice and help on tough decisions. Sometimes spending 15 minutes a day talking can reassure your children that they can talk to adults if they have a problem. Start conversations about daily life and feelings with questions like, what was one good thing that happened today? Anything bad happen? What is lunch like at your school? Who do you sit with? What do you talk about? What is it like to ride the school bus daily? What are you good at? What would you do? What would you like to do that you're good at? Talk about bullying directly. Talking about bullying directly is an important step in understanding how the issues might be affecting children. There is no right or wrong answers to these questions, but it is important to encourage children to answer them honestly. And it's important for you to listen to them. Assure children that they are not alone in addressing any problems that arise. Start conversations about bullying with questions like these. What does bullying mean to you? Describe what children who bully are like. Why do you think people bully? Who are the adults you trust the most when it comes to things like bullying? Have you ever felt scared to go to school because you were afraid of bullying? What ways have you tried to change it? What do you think adults can do to help stop bullying? Have you or your friends left other children out on purpose? Do you think that was because they were bullying? Why or why not? What do you usually do when you see bullying going on? Do you ever see children at your school being bullied by other children? How does it make you feel? Have you ever tried to help someone who is being bullied? What happened? What would you do if it happens again? These are simple ways that parents and caregivers can keep up to date with children's bullying lives or their lives altogether. You can read the class newspaper and school flyers, talk to them at home, check the school website, go to school events, greet the bus driver. That's a biggie. Meet teachers and counselors at back to school night or reach out to them by email. Share phone numbers with other children's parents. Encourage kids to do what they love. Help children to partake in activities, interests, and hobbies they like. Children can volunteer, play sports, sing in a chorus, or join a youth club or school club. These activities give children a chance to have fun and meet others with the same interests. They can build confidence and friendships that help children from bullying. It will also protect them from bullying. Model how to treat others with kindness and respect. Children learn from adults' actions. And that's a biggie because you may have a parent at home that says, it's okay. It's all right. So what, you hit them? By treating others with kindness and respect, adults show the children in their lives that there is no place for bullying. Even if it seems like they are not paying attention, children, they're watching how their adults manage stress and conflict, as well as how they treat their children, colleagues, and friends. Yes, I know it's hard to do for parents and especially teachers because We wear a lot of hats, but it's worth it to save our children. Parents or adults in general really need to pay attention to their children and listen. Adults are the key to having a self-confident life. Bullying is not self-regulating. It must have a positive adult buy-in and emphasis.